What's up, everybody? Some lights here. How's it going? We're back streaming, falling, streaming, talking. Yo, sleep, I know you wanna cry. All right. Let's get into this. Let's get into the session here. Let's get things loaded up. I think we got Docker already composed. Should be good there. Let's just open a terminal here, a couple of them. Let's do, there we go. Okay. What's going on, everybody? Welcome in. I hope you're having a good day today. Welcome back to the stream. Let me sign in here so I can chat. What? There we go. All right. Should be good here now. Okay. Okay. Welcome in, everybody. Hope we're having a good day today. Gonna get started on today's stream and see what we can do. All right. So welcome back. We are working on Polywhirl here. Let's get some chats in here. Who's in here? Yo. Hey Ashish, how's it going? My AirPod case is dying though. Let me plug this in. What's going on, everybody? Hey, what's going on? We got some people in here. Hope everybody's having a good day today so far, and is feeling good. Oh, my actual headphones are dying. We'll have to wait till the case charges a little bit. So today we're going to be... it really died already. Okay, wow. So today we're going to be working on our project again. We are brainstorming new names for our project. So let me know what you think. I thought of the name Polyponzi. I think that that's kind of fun. I kind of like this text logo here, like just this basic text logo. I think it's pretty clean for like a nice little tech company. I don't know, software company, whatever. So uh, for app. So I think Polyponzi. I think that looks pretty good. Like, let me know what you think about that name for our project. I know it might have like the only thing it has like a little bit of a negative connotation. Like it's a little bit like Ponzi, but it's kind of like self-aware. Like we know like what we're offering here is like services based on like gamblers basically. So it's kind of like user discretion. It's kind of self-aware and funny. So let me know if you guys like this name, and we'll go ahead and stick with it. I think this like text logo looks pretty good. That's what I'm saying. It's not a Ponzi scheme. It's kind of like self-aware on um, like what like we're offering here is data on people that uh, are just gambling basically. um, no, that didn't work. There we go. What do you guys think? So we're here in the app Polybonzi. Can't stop laughing at the name. It's kind of funny. Um, and so what we're gonna offer is right now we have a leaderboard where we currently showcase the users of our the leaderboard sweep that we've done. I'll go ahead and run a a script for today, so we get some new data. This was ran yesterday at 1 p.m. Okay, let's get a new sweep going for today. So yeah, I'll kind of explain what the app's about. Sure. See, we get this keyboard interrupt for some reason when I don't actually interrupt the keyboard. I don't know what that happens. So what the project is, this is Poly. It was called Polywhirl, but I changed it to be something a little bit more like recognizable, a little more marketable. I'm still toying with this idea of the name, so please let me know if you disagree. But I think it's kind of funny and self-aware. So what the project is we are currently tapping into Polymarket. Um, we're currently tapping into Polymarket public APIs and getting their leaderboard data. And so when I get their leaderboard data, I'm taking all of their addresses and pulling them into a generalized set across all of their filters. And then what we do is we go through each of those traders, parse through their positions for the past 30 days, and generate some kind of fine-tuned aggregated statistics for these better leaderboard betters. And then we kind of have a daily snapshot, or kind of like a bi-daily, maybe every 12 hours, a snapshot of the current leaderboard and the leaderboard kind of leaders themselves. Um, and I'm thinking that that would be kind of mainly the free product offered by the site is that service. And then a more of a paid feature for people that maybe would like to pay for a feature or a product would be that they could search up any address and get access to that back end algorithm that we have going for generating these statistics, and also increase the amount of days to 30 to 90 to 180 days in the past, maybe X amount of days. And then maybe we could also, I think another feature would be good was they could add up to maybe five or so users on, or maybe 3 to 5 addresses on their watch list, which would be ran, which they could run the functions on to generate the statistics for those users on a daily basis as well. Um, so yeah, I think that's kind of fun. That's kind of the idea here. Anywho, yeah, we'll see how far we can go. We'll build it little by little, and At least that's what we have been doing here. I'm not trying to, have too much feature bloat or whatnot, but I have a lot of fun ideas. Anywho, so yeah. Anyways, today we have a few things that we need to do. We need to build like a splash page, like a hero page. I I need to build that. Um, I need to build. So we need to build like a hero page. We need to build features for forgot password, right? So right now you have the ability to sign in, but you don't have the ability to forget your password, right? And change your password. So we need to add that. We need to add. What else do we need to add? And then I would like to add also, included in our leaderboard sweep is the amount of times the leaderboard users have been seen on the leaderboard. And we'll create a column on our database to track that so we can display a secondary leaderboard for appearances on our sweeps, kind of like an internal ranking system for these traders, right? Um, which will be kind of cool. So that's the idea. Anyways, let's go ahead and get started here. Um, yeah. Anyways, let's see what we can do. Okay, so let's just go to the leaderboard. We got our chunk still processing here, which is fine. So let me go ahead and yeah, Adrian, I think it would be fun for us to take a step to maybe actually release something, useful that people could actually use, right? Um, I think that'd be fun. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so for one, we need to add a hero page. Um, okay. And then we probably need like a user account page as well. Okay. Um, well, the first thing I want to do is I want to work on the pipeline for. Okay. So let's get out of our client here. Our polyworld class. What this does is that it builds the users and then has build leaderboards, and we feed those. We build the leaderboards and feed those into build users here. Right. Okay, so here this is that pipeline ran here. So we build the leaderboard and then we build the users. Right. Okay, so what we need to do is actually we need to stop our job here, open up our Docker, drop table, users. We actually need to stop our Python backend, drop table, user or leader, snaps, and drop table leaders. Okay. So now what we need to do is we need to go to our database schema, go to our leader fields. We're going to add appearances, which is going to be a integer default 0. And then probably what? Not null. Yeah, default 0 here. So we'll add an appearances here. Okay. And then when we build a user, this creates a user polyuser model and returns it, right? It validates all of our data and returns a polyuser model. Okay. So it's not really in this function that we're wanting to look at. It's in here. So this is for build leaderboard. So this is returns back our set of leaders. Top better addresses, right? Dictionary for category and set. And then in our poly whirl, right, we have our leaderboard here. And we have leaderboards, and then we merge them all into a master set. And then we have a leaderboard that we return back. So our goal then is we have build users here. So build users, what it does is it'll build all the user class values and then save them right here. What we need to do is we need to, after we build all the users, save user. So okay, so we save all the users here and commit. Okay. So if, so we're going to add a flag here to build users. Count appearances, which is a Boolean, which is equal to true. If count appearances, which is false. If count appearances, right here, what we're going to do is run db dot count leaderboard count leader appear count leaderboard appearances. Right? Huh. collect count distinct run ID from leader snaps, where leader snaps dot address equals to leader dot address. So we're going to update the leaders table and set the appearances column equal to select. Okay. Question is, why is React in the title at all? Bro, watch the stream for more than 2 seconds. Okay. All right, I think I get it. So we call our database.count leader appearances here, and then in our database polybase we have def count leader appearances. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah, fast API. That's what I'm using here. Okay, so count leader appearances, and then we're gonna say query is equal to, let's just say update leaders, right? Update the leaders table. We need the column, right? What do we want to update? So we want to set appearances, update leader, set appearances, and we want to set appearances to what? Equal, and then we have a select statement, right? Now is this inside or outside? This is inside. So select, what do we want to select? We want to select a count that is distinct, right? So a count distinct address, leader. We want to distinct the run ID. Is it leaders.run ID? No, it's just run ID. Select a count of distinct run IDs. Now, do we do a where here? Or no, it's a from. From leader snaps. And then we do, this is the where here, right? Where on what column? Leader snaps. Dot address is equal to leaders dot address. So we're going to update the leaders table. We're going to set the appearances column equal to a distinct count of run IDs from the leader snaps table where leader snaps dot address is equal to leaders dot address. Right? Um, okay, so I think that's fine. So then this just doesn't update. It doesn't need to return anything back to us. So maybe just say update leader appearances here. Well, we have to run this query, right? So we would have to call self dot execute the following query. Yeah, I think that's fine. Now execute does not return stuff back, right? Okay, that's good. Okay, so I think that that's fine. Now here we would do db update leader appearances. So this would update the leader appearances for the leaders table, right? Because we have appearances in the leaders fields, and we are updating the leaders table here for appearances. Am I spelling that right? Appearances. APPEARANCES. Yeah. Okay. And then we execute that to just run that execution. So then what I'm going to do is in our file here, we need to, we write it on a flag for build users here, because not always we want to set appearances. Count appearances equals to true here. So now I think that that'll do it. I think that that's the simple, because we set it up pretty easy with our architecture here that we could just quickly add that query in and just do an update here on a conditional. A lot of people chatting in here. Let me get kind of fun chat. People talking debate and AI. It sounds like I just ignore the people that comment about AI. Like honestly, they just question. Like it's such a stupid question because it's a Sunday for one. Like so it makes the question even dumber, and I'll tell you why. It's because like I mean why even like if someone's doing something like why does them spending their time really matter to you like in the long run how they spend their time? So like it's just kind of it's a stupid comment. It could be a waste. I mean it's like it's just I don't know. Anyway, but yeah. Anyways, it's catch up in the chat. I just ignore them because I think they're dumb. Um, most of them don't even realize that we are using our buddy over here for help and guiding us through learning, and it's assisted and stuff. But they don't even watch the stream for more than 30 seconds before they make a comment. um, few courses on Python coding, but I've never seen them teach it the way you create just using pure SQL. Why do you prefer pure SQL? What are the benefits over an ORM? Honestly, I just didn't want to learn an ORM. I didn't want to have to just go read documentation and stuff. I just was kind of over it, and I was tired of having things being abstracted away from me. I was getting away from that. That's kind of why I was learning C and have been learning C, is because I'm just kind of I was just annoyed with being like, okay, here's this thing, trust that it works and that it's doing its job, but you don't have any idea what's going on. So it's kind of the AI philosophy. It's the same thing that's going on. It's just to a whole new level, right? So it's just like I was just getting tired of being like, getting told that these things were doing something for me, but I had no idea like what was actually going on. I was like, it was like, I don't know. It's kind of funny, like computer scientists that you get a lot of the computer scientists they get a degree and they know frameworks and stuff, but then like you see some videos people grilling them about lower level concepts that computer scientists should know. And it's like, dang, it's like tough stuff. But I mean, I forgot a lot of stuff from college too, so I'm toast. Being in industry. um, People talking about, hey, hold on. I mean, people still make 200K with Python and React. I got your point about using React code. It's not for only for it's only for vibe coders. Vibe coding good for starting, but if you don't know how to scale, even AI can't help you. You find some type of book to make this project. Are you stuck in the parts? Modern AI is not making more mistakes than you know it. Oh, yeah, just the dumb. Yeah, people are so funny. Got the debate going on. I think it's architectural. You coming? We're not cloning Polymarket. We're making kind of an adjacent data statistical pipeline. So let me know now that we have some people in here. Let me know what we think about the name Poly Ponzi. I had the name Poliwhirl, but I changed it to Poly Ponzi. Poliwhirl is based off the Pokemon, but I figured that it wasn't as marketable. So Poly Ponzi seems kind of better. Or I was thinking Pocket Ponzi, but Ponzi is kind of a negative. But I think it's kind of self-aware and funny. I don't know because we're giving statistics about basically degenerate gamblers here. So it's like what can you do? I don't know. um, yeah. So let's go ahead and I think we're ready to test this out here. Let's run it here. I think it should be fairly straightforward because it'll auto make the tables now that we've dropped them. So this is our pipeline. So what our pipeline is doing is it's aggregating a set of Polymarket traders from their leaderboard, pinging the API using async functions. I've done this chunking because I built it in this chunking sequence because the API limiting makes you pagination of 25. So I've kind of been messing around with the parameters of the functions and the API calls to see how much I can get with as little calls as possible and not get limited and stuff. And so I've kind of have this combination where we can get a run in about 10 minutes for 400 users, 400 liters, which isn't that bad. It's honestly it's not. We've done good optimizations on our code. It's honestly just come down to a asymptote of the API calls that we're hitting. And so I'm curious if we did some if we did some testing, if we were to increase right now from 30 days of past close positions to 90 to 180, or 60, 90, 180 or whatever, if that asymptote stays like or grows very slowly, and we can maybe use that to our advantage so that we can peeing for 180 days, and it doesn't really take longer than 10 minutes, at 10-ish minutes, maybe drifting over to 12 to 15 minutes, but extra 3 minutes for double to triple the amount of days captured in closed positions is not that bad considering like a minimum 10-minute bottleneck or something. So that's currently how we have it set up right now. It's okay. I mean, it's doing the job that we got, or we need it to do. Um, but so, and then what happens is our dashboard here will update. So last updated was on 4/11 yesterday that we ran the job here, and as you can see, we get this view of traders. So right now our job is running. We don't have it. I don't have our backend. I think actually running here. Hold on. There you go. Oh, whoops. Yeah, I deleted it. They don't have any data in there right now, so shouldn't have refreshed it. But um, it will, sort them, and then you can go click on them to get an even more in-depth view about their edge, closed positions, open position statistics, and whatnot. So yeah, kind of a cool little project we got going on here. Let me catch up on some chats while our script is running here in the background. Where we at? We're on chunk 11. Okay. Um, dun, dun, dun. I think appearances field might be normalized if you're updating a counter every time. Might need to be normalized. Jonas, can you explain? Please, sir. Okay, cool. We run in here. Mm-mm, 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 mm-mm. What's everybody working on lately? We crossed over 4,900 subs, which is really cool. We're almost to 5K, which is really awesome. So thanks to everybody for following along to the stream and hanging out with me as we grind away here. We still need to figure out what we want to do with the API or the user addresses that are private. Um, so we, yeah, we definitely need to figure out what we want to do with those guys, um, for sure. Because right now they're just being skipped, as you can see by these terminals messages. Is they're just being passed over automatically. So might want to figure that out sooner rather than later. I might just stick them in their own uh, like data table and show them individually, but I'm not exactly sure yet. Things kind of taking a little while, no? Rip. Hey, what's going on, Smoking? Welcome back, Panther. Hey, dude. What's everybody learning? I've gotten some requests to continue the Python Crash Course series. I'm sorry I haven't been doing a lot of those, um, those like solution videos. I just haven't spent a lot of my time building the projects here and stuff. So just started watching your streams recently. They're entertaining. Nice, dude. First things, I'm glad that I could entertain you. That's funny. See this guy. Oh, we got a Valorant player here. That's why he's talking so much trash. Not even a video on the channel. That's why he's bold. Yo, what's going on? Tim, what you betting on? It's not. It's all aggregated into one general set. So if someone was, a top trader across economics, politics, and sports, they are just seen as just one entry here. So it's all into a set of the addresses. So we got our project running here. It's almost there. Got to keep it going. All right, it's cooking here. Almost there, you guys. Is anybody building any projects recently and want to showcase what they got? Anybody have any personal websites that they built or something that they want to showcase while we're running this job here? Can't really do much. We don't even have any data display on our client here until this finishes. And Tim, what do you think about the name? What do you think about the name Polly Ponzi? It kind of reminds me of the old school, like if you remember back in the day, those little toys, Polly Pockets. If you're like younger or oldest sister used to play with those. Those are that'll hit you that'll be like a major flashback, like a That's So Raven, like whoa, haven't heard Polly Pockets in a long time. Those things are always. I remember my sister used to play with those. You might bet on the Masters today. Are you gonna bet on Scotty, or are you gonna bet on Bryson? Those are like the two. No, oh, I'm still learning React, Adrian, as well, man. We're right there together. I'm learning. I only know how to. I know use state, use effect. That's all I got. I don't even know how to use those really. Use nothing. That's what I know. It's 12:30 for me right now. Vlad, welcome in, boom. What's going on, dude? Sounds like you're running a scam. You like Polyworld? We like Polyworld. So, should we do Polyworld or Polyponzi? I can't decide. We have to buy a domain soon, though. Like, we're gonna need to get something. Like, we're getting ready to kind of like get this pushed up. Like, we just need to get email or password. Forgot password change. We need to get scheduled a cron job when we get this pushed up to a server, and then just start adding more and more features. It's kind of coming together here. It's getting to a point where it's like, okay, we can start launching stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of apprehensive. Ponzi scheme? That's a good name, actually, just like Ponzi scheme. I was thinking also the name like fortune teller or like fortune, like fortune.com, like fortune, but that's probably expensive. That's probably taken for sure. Um, yeah, I was definitely trying to think of brainstorm some names for like, because it's difficult. We can't do like hyphenations of prediction because you get pred. It's like, bruh, what? No, no, cut. Yeah, that's what I went for. Poliwhirl was based on the Pokemon at first because I was just like, well, Poly, and we're doing a loop. And so I was like, the first thing that came to mind was that Pokemon Poliwhirl because it had like the swirling on it. So that's why I did the name Poliwhirl, and that's what our class is named after here. That kind of does the most of our work here, kind of like our engine basically. Uh, yeah, Tim, we'll have to set up a. Let's do a poll in chat here. Name for the site. Poly. I like all the lowercase too. I think that's kind of cool. It's kind of like tech. Poly Ponzi. Pocket Ponzi. Ponzi. Or we could just call it like, I don't know, maybe like just Ponzi, like PNZY might be kind of cool. or just Ponzi itself. Might be kind of cool. Oh, it's just kind of a gray area though, because it's kind of negative connotations. Poly fans would win. Poly fans. We're like one letter away from on poly fans. Nah, it's a real project, bro. I think we give a lot of pretty good data here that I think is pretty helpful. That if people wanted to potentially follow somebody, get some more information on them, see, like, evaluate if they're a bot or a potentially human, a one shot wonder, like, you can kind of interpret that data using this dashboard here. I'll show you when it loads up. We're almost there. Oh, we just finished. So it took us almost 800 seconds here to do a 405 users saved. And so let's quickly select all from, well, let's select, um, all right, let's just reload here. Juicy slots. Let's just do, um, kind of query should I do here? We want to do select appearances from leaders where username is equal to, this should just be 1. Zero rows. Maybe it has to be case sensitive. Ah, there we go. Perfect. I think that's working now. So now we have appearances, which is cool. So, or where was that at? Sorry. Right, now we have appearances here. Use a flag turned on when wanting to count the appearances. This calls save users and inserts poly user into calls insert into leaders. So I probably should just rename that. I think we just need to, because we refactored stuff and just forgot to kind of change some namings. It's not inserting into users, it's inserting into leaders. Because saving the poly, because this is poly user model is like a poly user, someone that uses the poly market, right? Our users are just like in our schemas in our API here, uh, right? In our authentication API here, like user base, user register. These are our schemas here. But the name of the function is a little bit confusing. But it kind of makes sense actually. Okay, when wanting to count the appearances of leaders. So, so I did this so we can reuse this function, the polyworld build users. We could reuse this again, but then we would just have to change the save path to not our leaderboard for when people want to just search up anybody, right? Because this saves to the leaderboard right now. Let's see the poll. Polyworld's winning. um. Okay. So let's switch back over to Polyworld. People liked that one. So all right. All right. All right. Sounds good. We will switch over to that one. The only thing was is polyworld.com was not available. So I could hyphenate it and maybe like Polyworld, like like WRL or WHRL, but I like doing misspellings, like I don't feel like is the best path for, searchability and stuff. People like, oh, Polly Ponzi's making a comeback here. Polly Ponzi's making a comeback. Okay. We'll go ahead and switch it over for now. Back to Polyworld. And yeah. Okay. So we need to go to our components nav bar here. This is just going to be Polyworld. And then go back to the leaderboard. That's fine. Go to our login page then. Poly Ponzi. Polyworld. And then go to our register page and do the same thing. All right, we're back into Polyworld. We're back. Poly Ponzi's making a comeback though. People like it. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, so this is what's going on with our project. Is you have a list of all of these, bettors, leaderboard bettors, ordered by their various rankings here. This guy's taking a beating. Dang! And so if we go here like Wandering Panda, this guy has closed positions. He's closed 65. Of those closed, he's closed 3 losses. His win rate is 95% on his closed positions. Right? So he has about a 2-to-1 average win to loss ratio. His open positions, however, so a lot of people hide like a lot of data in their open positions. So his open positions, however, aren't too bad even. Like he's only underwater about $1,300, $1,100, with an unrealized P&L, with some open positions that are profitable, bringing him just shy of 1,000 loss. Right. So his prediction accuracy, so he's not predicting the future. He's kind of bouncing in and out of positions before they close in terms of their prediction outcomes, right? So his crystal ball rating is pretty bad. But he has a really high edge of about almost 100% edge, given that he, for every dollar that he risks, I think he's making about 881 back. Which is kind of nuts. So but he hasn't really done that many positions. So let's see what he's betting on. So he's betting on a lot of Elon Musk stuff, a lot of kind of, yeah, he's betting on a lot of kind of high volatility, trendy things playing off of the volatility, it looks like. White House posts. Ridiculous. He's not playing that big of hands either, right? His average win size is $9, which makes sense because he's closing around.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not
Hey,
that
thanks
guy.
for this.
Okay? You? Absolutely.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I just realized your app is really cool and useful. Yeah, that's what I think. That's what I think. It's kind of, it's not really like it's a meme project-ish, but it's actually pretty, it gives you actually a lot of insight into how these traders are actually, trading on like a 30-day basis, right? Are they actually winning or are they one-hit wonders? Like, let's look here. Like some of the, let's take a peek at like win rates here. 100% win rates. So a lot of these people probably only took like one trade in the past 30 days, right? So like blindly following the leaderboard through like API or whatever, if you're just tracking traders through their addresses on API blindly, you're gonna lose because some of these people are just one hit wonders, right? They need to be flagged as such. So, right, that's why he was able to go from 2,000% profit or whatever, because he, now look at his open positions though. He has a total realized P&L of this, but his open positions are sinking him negative that he hasn't captured yet. So, like be on the lookout for these leaderboards can be misleading, that Polymarket is giving you because, they're just giving you like they're giving you all of it in one scope basically, like one on one umbrella. He hasn't even closed a position yet. His edge value is not even calculated because in order to calculate edge, you have to have a loss in terms of his um, closed positions, right? So that kind of all goes into it. Um, what else? What I like to look at is like EV percentage or like win rate in like the 75 to 100 rankings. So like these people, right? This guy not so much. He's got a $2 million open unrealized loss. So he's underwater big, right? You probably want to find someone with an EV percentage though, like this guy. No, someone down here with an EV percentage that's probably not super loud, right? So something in the 75 to 100 range with a good win rate with not a loud EV percentage, like this guy here, maybe this guy here. Let's try this guy here. Yeah, so this is a pretty good example, right? This guy has a lot of open positions here and with nothing underwater basically and relative to his total value of open position. Um, he only has 14,000 of unrealized P&L, so he's still at break even here basically, right? So only has like 54,000 of positive gains, offsetting this 40,000 or whatever. But his win rate is fairly high for a fairly normalized risk to reward or risk with a pretty nice profit factor with a high balance. So he might be cherry picking, like using his high balance to um, get wins easy because 1% on like $1 million is pretty large, right? Um, but if you lose, like let's say that goes underwater by 5%, like if you're trying to gain 1%, 1%, 1% on a million over and over again, let's say you lose one time and lose 5%, that offsets your 1% gain like X amount. Like it destroys your progress so far. Like you're walking up the stairs and then you take an elevator down, right? So it's like, yeah, hard coding everything. No, it's all React database API pulls, all dynamic through a cron job here that we have going. We haven't set up automatically yet, but it goes daily. Um, so pretty cool so far. I was thinking like, I personally think like, for like $4.99 a month, if you're serious about trying to get data about bettors, and if I add in like an additional search feature, like so the free users I think would get access to like maybe the first 50 on all the leaderboard filters, and then get access to, obviously this page for the first 50, and then paid users could get access to anybody on the leaderboard, all 400, whatever that gets pulled, and then also have an additional feature for a search to search up any address and generate these statistics on them for the period. You make it a dark theme. I thought about making it a dark, but I kind of like the light theme. It's kind of like, I kind of was going with like an Apple kind of clean theme. But yeah, the dark theme might be a feature we'll have to implement after we get like a working concept. I type about 90 to 95%. I use AI to help me, gather my thoughts, outline plans and courses of action items to complete for the day. Pretty much like a Jarvis, like a Tony Stark working with Jarvis. Jarvis, wipe my ass. um, yeah. Okay. Um,
You're not that guy,
How
pal.
about that
Trust
guy,
me.
pal?
You're not that
Hey,
guy.
we're going up. We're almost to 5K subs. Let's
Absolutely.
go. What's going on, everybody? Should we stream all day today until we hit 5K? Let me grab my AirPod case so I can charge up my AirPods. Okay. It's time to start building, I think. So this is the leaderboard, right? So right now, what I was thinking is we have an additional feature, which will be like a custom, like an individual ranking for all of the traders and their appearances on the daily sweeps. So I was thinking that we could set up like a frame out here on the left side of our screen to have like the appearances leaderboard um, happen, or maybe it should just be its own page and we shouldn't clutter things, because when we go to mobile view here, we don't have much room to really play around with this. Now maybe we could add a option on the leaderboard itself to.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
I gotta put in the headphones.
You? Absolutely.
I was thinking that maybe we could have. Hey, thanks for all the subs. Keep it going. We got sub train. We could maybe have a toggle on the leaderboard to toggle between, generalized versus appearances, or maybe it's a filter here. Right? That's probably the best way to do it, is go by appearances and then have it be on a filter on the leaderboard. Yeah, that's probably what we're going to have to do. So, let's go ahead and try to implement that feature, I guess. Okay, so where to go from here? We need to add a column into our front end for appearances. We need to send the appearances to the front end. I think we're already getting them though. We should be getting the leaderboard's basic. No, we're not. We're not. We're not. We're not. We need to go to Polybase. We are sending leader data here. Address, username, URL last updated. No. It's here. Get leaderboard. So we probably want to add onto here. It's not in snaps actually, it's in leaders. Dot appearances. So that would add our leader dot appearances as a field in our query to send to our front end. And then what we want to do is allowed sort fields. We want to allow to sort by appearances, right? So they can't, like this protects our SQL injections. So they can't filter by anything other than these. And then the limit is fine. Or you could put a dark mode under the sub. That'd be so cruel, Adrian. You have to pay for dark mode to get to my eyes. I'm bored. My eyes. That's like dystopian as hell. Like paying for dark mode, paying for colors on a computer screen is crazy. I guess people pay for skins, which is no different. But it's like crazy. Okay, so we have appearances here now that's being sent to our front end on the Get leaderboard. So now let's just go to our client pages leaderboard. We want to have sort buttons. We have sort options here. So let's add in an additional sort option for appearances. And this is going to be just for appearances. Right? So that's there now. So we're getting a fail to fetch here. Errors in fail SQL transaction. Current transaction is aborted. Command ignored until transaction blocked. So maybe you just probably just restart the server here. No. So let's think here. So we're adding an additional sort column here. So then we're allowing for mapping of our sort columns here to map to automatic components via buttons. And then set sort by the option value, use state get table sort by defaults to total realized P&L. So that stays in local storage right here. Now we need to add in a table column. So here's our table body. So we have to add in a table head here. I'm going to add this probably closer to the username. Appearances. And then we want to map appearances, delete this format function. We don't need any color formatting on this. Okay, so we're failing here still. We haven't started up the server. Okay, now we're running. Transactions aborted. Backend. Course, get leaderboard. Get leaderboard sort by limit offset. In 194 get leaderboard. In query cursor execute the values. Don't have any values given. Let's take this error. Let's feed this. Do you use AI to learn new concepts? Yes, all the time. This error means previous query failed and left the connection in a broken state because you're using a single persistent connection across all requests. One failure, failed query poisons it for all requests. Add a rollback on error in the query. When the query fails, roll back to the transaction so the connection is usable again. The root cause appearance is in your allowed sort fields, but doesn't exist as a column in your leaders table yet. So the appearance, the query fails, leaving the transaction broken, and every subsequent request fails too. I added the column already. Oh crap, ran out of messages. Crap, we got to figure this out. So it failed on this one. I miss your things in my room. I miss you all of the times. Let's see here. So we select leaders, username, last updated, and appearances, and all this stuff from leaders, leader snaps as snaps. Snaps.sort by is not null. Ordered by leaders.address. Leader snaps.times are decreasing as the latest. Order by sort by descending. Limit number, offset number. I misspell something. Anybody have any idea? What's going on? What's going on? Using fast API. What's going on, Drek? Need to get comfortable here. Okay. Why isn't this working? What could it be? We've added leader fields to our schema for appearances. Let's see here. We've got to go to the orbs. We've added a leader field. We do this. We build users, saving, update leader appearances. Our update leader appearances is this. So set appearances can. Hmm. What's going on here? So it's what is this error? It's not your root problem, it's the aftershock. Something failed earlier and never rolled back. Not it's supposed to do anything. So query. Execute function. I don't get it. Hmm. Okay, so we have appearances in our schema. We have appearances in our schema. But why isn't it let me just restart both the server and the client. No, we're still getting the same error. Command is ignored until the transaction block. Our table has appearances in it though. Oh, this is doing snaps dot sort by. I think that's it. Right here. Okay. So if sort by equals to appearances, we need to change the query. Let's just do this. Well, we need to actually, it's with this. So we need to change. So it says snaps dot sort by. So what we'll do is we'll make this an F string. Can you not nest an inner F string? Oh, shoot. Can we just do inner quotes? Do we have to do like this again, like an inner F string? Oh, you do. Can I remove this? No. Do that like that. There you go. But I need to keep that out front, right? Right. This is if. Like this. Oh, let's go! Come on! Let's go! Feels good. Okay, so now we can sort by appearances as well. Right, so nice. That'll sort by appearances. So they're all one. Okay, so I'm going to take this and I'm going to go. I got it. The sort by appearances is in the leaders table, not the leader. Yeah, good catch. That is the issue, but there's a second more subtle like how do you query that'll bite you. You guys here. What the next problem is. My headphones keep dying. Come on. So the valid columns are user catch when sort by is unequal to appearances. Use snaps to sort in the outer query use order by sort by. All numbers the aliases match. This way. Okay, so it's suggesting us to use a sort map, like a sort field map here, and then apply dot keys here, right? This is order by so we'll say order field is going to be equal to our field map on the sorted by. We'll pass in the order field here, and then we'll pass in the order field there. It's still working, right? Okay, so select. I wanted us to change our thing to this. Select this from leaders. Join these where run ID equals to a select of the max run ID from leader snaps. And so if I copy this query into here, do we still get the same effects? Failed to fetch. List index out of range. List index out of range. Which one? What are we out of range on? Execute the query and the values. Why is my query and my values out of range? Passing in two values here. So is this not right? Let's get some feedback here. Oh. With that, but oh. yeah. We have an additional %s here. Transactions blocked. Huh. Join leaders. Let's add snaps on where snaps.run ID equals to select max run ID from leader snaps and it's wanting us to use, it keeps kind of going back and forth. This AI sucks. Okay, so that'll okay, so okay, so that does that. So appearances 1, profit factor, juicy slots is still up top. Win EV, yep. Win rate still 100%. 100%. 90s, nice. Profit factor, nice. And appearances. Okay. I think we were able to fine tune that. Hey, Sean, John Star, how's it going? Thanks for coming in, Adrian. Appreciate you being here. Hey, Bob, how's it going? You learning to Django? Nice. Is it normal that I'm really lost while looking at your code, or am I cooked that I need to get back to learning? I get lost looking at my code too, but because I kind of, but I will say that I would be 10 times more lost if I just copy and pasted it into AI and actually didn't write it myself. It might have done the same process, but if I were to ever have to go back in and add features on my own, fine tune a specific process, I wouldn't have probably not been able to do it. So that's why I wanted to write it on myself, using AI to assist me and help me out where I need it, so that if I can have ideas and stuff, it's easy and seamless to go and find the areas I need to go fine tune. Just like this, we were able to add in a quick little feature, adding appearances to our database, adding it to our front end here, and now being able to appropriately filter by appearances as well, which is really cool. So as we sweep daily through these calls to the leaderboards and aggregate data, if the user appears in more than one place, or in more than one time, we'll be able to collect that here, right? Okay, cool. So that'll get leaderboard. This is update leader appearances. I want to see what it said for my update leader appearances because I had some feedback on that. Okay. Don't store appearances at all, just compute it when needed. Select address, count, distinct, run appearances. So I'll say, I'm computing appearances because this is a nightly sweep that aggregates data of all of the polymarket leaders. And I want to track on my sweeps how many times they appear in my sweeps. And I want to display that on a dashboard. So it would be really kind of intensive to compute that for every single call rather than just saving it as a column in our leaders table like I currently have. What I'm doing though is I'm running the update leader appearances query before or after, sorry, after I commit the save for that snapshot. Good, you're thinking about this the right way. This is one of those cases where denormalizing storing appearances actually makes sense. Let me sharpen your approach so it stays fast and doesn't quite degrade. Your core idea. You have leader snaps, which is a source of truths per run. You have leader appearances, which is a cache aggregate. Nightly job updates everything. That's a legit pattern. Pre-compute expensive aggregates during batch jobs. Serve fast in the API. No issues there. The real problem is your current approach. Right now, you do db.commit and then if count appearances, do db update leader appearances. And your update is this query here. Issue number 1 is full table recompute every night. You are recounting all historical data every run, even though you only add one new ID. Why this matters. Right now is fine. Later 10,000 times 100 runs is unnecessary load. You're doing O of n times history work instead of O of n new rows. Better approach is to incrementally update. This is what you want. Instead of recomputing every time, only increment appearances for users in their current run. So right after inserting your new snapshot, do this query instead. Update leaders, set appearances equal to appearances plus 1, where address in. So we're going to increment using this query here, which is a lot better. Right? Why this is better. It only touches active users this run. No full table scan scales cleanly forever. Important assumption, this only works if each leader appears at most once per run. If that's true, it should be. If duplicates are possible, select distinct address, which you already are. One more critical improvement. Right now you're doing this. Wrap both in one transaction. Okay, so I had to also pass in though a value. which is what we have to pass in. So we need to query for the latest whatever though, right? So this is get leaderboard, get leader, update leader appearances. So we have to do def get.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Okay.
Okay?
Get,
Absolutely.
Get updated or get recent snapshot ID. Right, we have to run ID. Get recent snapshot get most recent run ID. So get most recent run ID given self, and we're just going to query we're going to select here. Select snaps.runID. Select run ID from leader snaps so I'm going to select max run ID from leader snaps. And what we want to do is do self.query for this query, and then we're going to get a run ID here, or we're just going to return this run ID here. So what we're going to do is we're going to execute the return value of self dot get most recent snapshot run ID. So I think that's what we're looking for here. Oh, whoops, sorry. Bug here. Select max run ID from snaps. So let's just say this is res equals to this. Let's return res. So index, it's a list of tuple values. If res and res 0, 0, else is not none, else none. And then that'll run that there. So then we're going to do run ID equals to self.get most recent snapshot run ID. If run ID is none, we're going to return we're going to pass the run ID here. Okay. So that'll give us the most recent snapshot ID. And then update leader appearance based off of the most recent snapshot ID. So now, what we should do now wrap both in one single transaction in this. So try for user in res save user. If appearances, update appearances, and then commit. And then log, and then roll back. And close connection. Okay, so now if we refresh this, cool. Okay, that's fine. I think that's good. So Polyworld now gets this. Our schema looks like that. That's good. Polybase now has this. inside your class you defined this and this for self.query queue. No, I only use self. I don't query queue. Pocket Ponzi. Update DB. Yeah, that's fine. I think it's okay. For user and user res. Save user. Count appearances. DB commit. Oh, we already have the run ID here. We don't even need this. Pass in run ID. There we go. That would work because update, because this gives get next run ID here. Okay. I think that's fine. So we could just pass and get run ID instead. Right here, which is an int. Run ID is none. Perfect. Okay, cool. So now we have our poly base, and then we got our poly world here. I know we got some nice list comprehensions going here, Zen. So we need to go to our DB, our execute function here. So, or our query function, sorry. Here. So query takes in SQL values, fetch one. We call cursor. We try and execute. We try and you have a resolution result, and we return the result here if we can. Except for an exception as E, we will self.con dot rollback and raise. Finally, we will cursor close. And then also in our execute function, something similar. So execute, gets connection, cursor, tries to execute, if commit, commit, except for exception, right? Self.con.rollback and raise. Finally, cursor close if cursor connection, if close connection, close connection. With latest run as this from later. Okay. Okay. I think that that's okay. So to test it out, we got to run the program again. We gotta kill this. So let's kill this, and we'll kill this, and then we'll go to our Docker. We'll drop table users, drop table leaders, and drop table leader snaps. Now this should be empty. Well, it can't be reached. Yeah. Now we can run our job here. When you run a database transaction, it gets staged before written to disk. A rollback lets you kind of revert what you might have been trying to do if there's any error or something. Otherwise, it's good. You commit. Nice. All right, so we'll let that run. Yeah, partial update max, exactly. Like if things got saved halfway through, or whatever. All right, this is running our cron job. Oh boy. Oh boy. All right, we got our job going here. What's everybody up to lately? Let's check it. Let's check our texts. Let's check our texts. All right. Our site is doing good so far. It's looking good so far. Feel good about this so far. We've added in appearances and added that to our database and was able to get that wired up accordingly. Yeah, nice. I'm very much like totally open for like I got an HTTP error. Ooh, never gotten one of those before for this. Huh. We did get a 429. Hmm. My stomach is growling. Ah, we got pinged there. Shoot. So our data might be skewed here. Oh. No. They're pinging us 429. Piece of crap. Ah. No. Um. Mm, they hit us with some 429s. So they started throttling us. Let's see if we don't get any more. All right. I'm going here. Thought for your mic. You should look at setting up a volume on your Docker container for your database so you can actually persist the data you download somewhere. That way you can actually store these rows on your hard drive somewhere. Yeah, there's definitely a lot more Docker stuff I've got to learn for sure. There's definitely a lot more Docker stuff to learn. Okay, well, letting this job run here. Should be pretty good. We shouldn't get any 429s, I don't think. So, does this log our HTTP errors in our logger? No, just these errors I send. We haven't got one yet. I figured like maybe we should take a day on stream to like watch a video on Docker and a couple other things to like really solidify our knowledge on those technologies and what they have to offer. Because besides the Docker Compose up dash D, that's all we got. Right. Hey Michael, hey Moon, how's it going? Welcome back. I was wondering what resources you Someone made fun of me in chat earlier for stuttering, saying I was dumb if I would. How can I know what I was talking about if I was couldn't even talk fluently? It's like, bro, you come sit here and talk to yourself for 2 hours and see if you don't get tongue twisted. But yeah, he belittled me because of my stuttering. It's like, dang. I also think I think I have a big tongue. I do have some like bigger lips, so like I'm like always kind of like fuddling over my tongue. Okay. Gah. Hey Muna. I always get told that I mumble, which is pretty bad too. Hey Michael, I was wondering what resources you used to learn about APIs, virtual environments, Docker, and the backend. I know Python, but I'm struggling to move on to the next step. Yeah, I honestly I'm right there with you. I I've been looking up resources myself for kind of like I've been I've been trying to find resources for like you know streamline production back end to front end resources like what like going from zero to hero of like what do we need to know to be up to industry standard and whatnot and I so that's kind of what I was looking for, and I didn't really find anything like along those lines because it is a fairly robust thing. Now they do have all those like roadmap things, and someone's probably going to be like, "Oh, roadmap.md or whatever," but um, I it's kind of like that's a little bit too like open ended, like choose your own adventure. Like I would something a little bit more structured than that, and so I was looking at the boot.dev course and thinking like what if we just did that live on stream, like we just did the boot.dev stuff and like I paid for it or whatever. But I'm apprehensive to do that because we've spent 2 years not paying for any sort of courses or guru material for learning how to program, and we've been able to get this far, whether it be far, however you see how far that is, but definitely farther than where we started, that's for sure. So why should we maybe keep it that, or no, or you might kind of hit like a bottleneck where you kind of might have to start shilling out some dough for some more kind of direct and tailored information. More, that kind of might, that free stuff covers those basics, but in order to start getting into the weeds of things, I don't know. So that's why I was kind of reading books like I started listening to books like Pragmatic Programmer, like an audio book, just like whatever. That one just talks about kind of more general concepts of like ideas about how to program and like mindsets. I wasn't really too keen on continuing that book because I kind of already have a lot of those kind of mentalities, problem solving skills, just kind of developed being a scientist already. So it kind of comes from someone I think of wanting to develop those if they don't already have them. So like if you're not familiar with like the scientific method, coming up with deductions, hypotheses, experiments, it's kind of not directly those concepts, but adjacent in terms of like problem solving, whatever into computer science and stuff. What else? I started looking into books like C programming, a modern approach to dive deeper into C, learn. So like the higher level programming languages like abstracted or obfuscated a lot of the you know um, core concepts of computer science and programming. So I started to learn about C, and still am, to try to dive deeper and push past those. Um, for fast API references, I have primarily 100% used AI to learn like Fast API, the documents of Fast API reading, and then also Corey Schaefer. If you guys don't know who Corey Schaefer is, he's a Python programmer on YouTube who's been around for a very, very long time, posting Python tutorials from before AI was a thing. And I have watched his videos over and over and over again to solidify some knowledge. There's more stuff in them I forget, and I go back and watch again. But Corey Schaefer, his videos on like pandas, his videos on Fast API, his videos on Python basics. I think he's a great teacher in my opinion. Um, and then yeah, just honestly, another thing is just trial and error. So that's a big thing that I think a lot of people really try to disregard, but it is the number one source of learning. And no matter how many times people say it over and over and over again, it just still seems like people try to just shove that one off to the side and say, I'm going to try to just hack my way to just learning things by watching rather than actually doing. And you have to think about it is I have over 500 videos and streams almost on my channel here, each at a minimum of an hour to 2 hours. So you're thinking of anywhere between about 750 to so far 1,000 hours of just learning how to program, sitting here at this desk trying to do stuff over and over again, prompting AI over and over again, thinking about don't show me code, but how can I learn more about this concept? Building projects, SpectroSim, ChromaPlot, starting projects, not finishing them, like Pocket Farm. We had Stalker. We had Better Options. Like, even though we didn't finish those projects and see them to a resolution, that process of getting started, getting our ideas going, building a sort of a basic architecture, and then getting it flowing to where we have like a working MVP and then falling out, that was part of the learning process. And I wasn't so certain on those ideas and wanting to make them into real products because they were just kind of hobby ideas and stuff. And that's why they didn't really carry on like this project. But those a lot of things, I think people try to like, oh, I need to hack my way into spending my time as valuably as possible. If I'm going to spend 30 minutes doing something, it has to be spent doing the exact perfect thing I need to do to learn those steps from 0 to 10, right? Well, in reality, I don't think that that is the most realistic approach to have. Those 30 minutes probably will get you from about 0 to 1 point to 0.5 or to 0.8, but and maybe with the resources you have now get you up to like 1.2 or something. But trying to there is no perfect resource out there, and it's kind of a compilation of different trial and error, finding different resources, learning from other people's styles and whatnot. So that's kind of my rant. I'll go back in my chats and look and see what you guys think. The type of person who also has no idea what actually goes into this stuff. I was doing CS50 on Twitch for a bit. Great book. For pragmatic, what's the name again? Pragmatic Programmer was the name of the book that I was talking about. That one's just for like programming mindset concepts and like abstract ideas, kind of getting yourself into the mindset of a programmer. I kind of listened to the first few chapters, but it seemed like a lot of things that I kind of have learned just through experience in industry and like college and being able to just be kind of self accountable if you have those skills. How to be efficient in the workplace, be a good worker, like how to have hard work ethic, like those types of things. Um, a good guide for Fast API and Docker in there. CS50 teaches Fast API. Oh yeah, I started watching the Fast API tutorial on the third video in the series. Oh, CS50 does Fast API? I thought they used Flask. Yeah, they use Flask. Fast API is just a lot easier in terms of setting up and getting going really quickly, hence the name. Plus, it also has a lot of good security features in it too, environment features. Corey Schaefer, yeah. Most of my company is using Fast API now too. Oh, that's nice. I'm learning Fast API right now, but I've heard it's not much used in much industry. What technology to use for databases? Right. I don't know too much on database stuff. I need to get better at that for sure. This was our first real deep dive into like using an actual database of Postgres, like a standard one. So we have some familiarity with SQLite. We've used those in the past, but this is like our actual real production first go at it. Yeah, that's a good book. Yeah, that take is good. You've done a really good job not falling into tutorial AI hell. Yeah. What do you think about bioinformatics and using programming in a bio context? I'm on the fence of where to do in my career. Um, I will say that every person that I have talked to that has directly gone into bioinformatics has struggled harder to find work than just regular programmers. Um, the biotech scene is not as heavily funded as the software space. You have to think like in terms of funding. So look at like a company like Thermo Fisher where I work, right? Look at the market cap of Thermo Fisher. Very big company, very successful Fortune 500 company, huge market cap. But look at the market cap like a company like ASML or the company like Meta or the company like Google or it's just a different ball game. And so when you have that much more magnitude of money to invest back into R&D, to do things like that, you're able to pay, so bioinformatics, they're programmers that know a lot about programming stuff, but they often are not paid as much as software people, in my opinion. The jobs are harder to come by because the funding is not as much there to spend in, research and development for those types of things. They're pretty niche positions to like kind of smaller clinics, um, clinical lab scientists clinics and things like that, medical technologist clinics, hospitals. So just not as big of an industry, um, and you have a lot more competition in terms of I think the people that are in biology and biotech can transition their skills into programming, whereas bioinformatics people have more programming skills but don't know as much physical science maybe. So I think it's harder to bridge that gap without going back to school. Um, so I think it might be more beneficial to maybe take the route I did if you wanted to go bioinformatics. Not that I have any experience in bioinformatics, but I think that maybe just from the experience I've seen with people with degrees, because I have talked to a few that maybe learn physical science in that route and then translate that into programming independently. But doing programming intertwined, I feel like there's some gaps in your physical science and then also in programming. So you're kind of like in this middle area. And I don't know. What do you guys think? Oh, almost fell over. But I will say, so I started a new job, right? I no longer work as a formulation chemist. I work in molecular biology at a lab, kind of doing lab management and administrative work there. A little bit more out of my element, kind of more into higher level career path development stuff, which is whatever. But I'd much rather be like programming and doing physical science bench work, but it just doesn't pay as well. um, anyways, I I will say there are a couple of bioinformatics programmers that are at this site, and every time I walk past them, they're just prompting AI. So take that with what you will. Um, I don't know if that's the standard that what they're being asked to, probably by their managers and jobs, but I have yet to see any of those people handwrite a single line of code. From the small time I've been like peered over their shoulder and looked at their computer screen, it's all been just copy and pasted from the AI. Um, yeah, so interesting. It is interesting. Um, okay, our pipeline finished here, so let's go ahead and load up. Okay, Nice. So our appearances still worked appropriately. It it still worked well. We are getting. Oh, Juicy Slots got overtaken by somebody here. Cemetery Sun. Someone took him over. 16 million. Whoa. Oh, he's got $19 million loss. What is this guy playing? Baseball? Bro's playing baseball with 16 million? Well, right now he only has 1 million in position value, right? Yeah, he's got 1 million in total value of open positions, but he's realized 16 million over the past 30 days for an underwater loss though of 20 million. So he could be down bad. Yeah, he's in for it. He's praying for recovery. Okay, cool. This was a good little feature update. We added appearances into our filter capabilities, and we have now our daily syncs will increment the appearances for leaders that are found within those syncs, and we'll be able to maybe map those. You can see how many times they appeared in our daily sweeps as well. So it kind of has.
You're not that guy, pal. Trust me. You're not that guy.
Hey, thanks so much for the sub,
Okay.
Crusader.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you. Um, so not only do we have metrics that are being calculated from the API itself, but we have internal metrics being generated now that give our app actual like validity into or like value, right? So we are tracking the trader's appearances on our sweeps, which gives like this statistic is kind of custom to our um, site here, which is cool. Now all these statistics, are custom per se in terms that we're doing things on our own way to compute them, but someone else could compute them if they wanted to just by doing a similar process and going over all of that data and doing it. But whether they want to or not, they could just come to the site and get it this way. So cool. Let's go ahead and push up that. Oh. What do you say? Add appearances to leaders and auto increment appearances on sync. Oh. Nice. Should we go check out the GitHub? We've been pushing a lot lately, so let's go check out our chart here on stream. Let's check out our GitHub heat map. If you guys aren't following me on GitHub, hit me with a follow. Maybe maybe with our GitHub following, we'll actually be able to get a dev job. Let's see here. Let's go to our home page. Oh, wow. Pretty good April so far. We've got some hot days, some cold days. 2025 was pretty nice. And we started in 2024. Nice. So if I refresh, we'll just go all time. No, we'll stay. All right. Anyways, thanks so much for being here today, you guys. I'll probably come back a little bit later on to continue on with the project. Catch up on some chats here. Yeah, that's a great point. I find that to be a problem in Canada as well, but software space is going to turn a lot into AI PR reviews. So I worry for how much I will love doing that. Interesting. Zen says, sure sounds interesting. More agents. Max says, I have heard a lot that the KPIs for all coding jobs have turned into how many tokens are you using this month. Sure seems like it from a business side, they want to start realizing value from it. It's not sustainable though. Once the hype dies down, I'm not sure what will happen. I think that there is quite a lot of benefits though that the AI can provide to bioinformatics space in terms of developing new tools to help the physical science space. I think there is a big gap in that area where physical scientists need tools to improve their daily workflows, mathematical tools, software to help their flows, limb systems better flow through the labs. But there is a gap between software and the physical lab where um, I feel like a lot of people have to know a lot of knowledge in the physical lab, but they don't have a lot of bandwidth to learn software. And so there isn't a lot of people that have bridged that gap yet. And so I do think that there's a big opportunity, at least from my found. I was able to implement a little software program for my previous group that was very, very helpful that they're still currently using now. And I got a call recently to consult on it, for my previous group and provide them some details about the data that was sitting out at them. So there's tons of opportunities to help aid to move that slow, robust, archaic lab process into software and streamline that. But there's just not a lot of companies that are doing that right now, maybe, or resources in those fields, or people that know that space. Um, right. Um, so like it would be interesting. I think that like if you were a company like a biotech company that was bioinformatics only that did software and was like a consulted and partnered with groups to do like field service engineers like FSEs or whatever to go there, find their needs, write software for their needs, and then that's your job, kind of like how I guess Palantir does a lot of their current software jobs, um, doing like physical in-person software consulting. uh, I think could be a pretty good gig, but you know, I guess that's for the venture capitalists out there. Let's check up on our poll. So Polywhirl's definitely kicking tail here. I think Polywhirl is going to be our site name then. Polywhirl. All right. We'll have to buy a domain. I don't think that there's. Let me look here on Cloudflare. I don't think polywhirl.com is available, unfortunately. Let me go to domains, registration, buy domain. Let's look at polywhirl.com. Right. So polyworld.net, .org. We could do .info. We could do .io maybe, .club, .data. Do they have .data? Not available. Oi! .io. That's available. 50 bones! Jesus Christ! Oh, .rl. That'd be a funny, like Polywhirl. Yeah, that's why I was thinking about Polyponzi, because that one's available at $10. Poly-world. We could change it to Polyworld. That's not available. Polyworld.uk. Dang it. See, we're struggling. What's a list of top level domains? Polyworld.ponzi. Polyworldponzi.com. Polyworld.bet. That one's available. That one's not bad. Should we do polyworld.bet? $20. Or polyworld.app. That's probably the best one. Polyworld.app. All right, should we do polyworld.app? Nobody snipe me, please. Don't snipe me here. Don't be a jerk. Should we do it? I like .bet to me more. .ai. We could do polyworld.ai. $80. What? And a minimum 2-year registration. Yeah, AI is gonna be spendy. We're not Fortune 500 out here. We're just small business. I think either polyworld.bet or polyworld.app. I'm torn between those. I can't decide. I really like app because it's more like tech based, but bet is pretty cool because it's like these are people betting, right? App is only $14.20. Polyworld.bet is $20.20. So it's really not that big of a deal, like $6 more. Which one, guys? Polyworld.app or polyworld.bet? Do app? People want app? Should we make a poll? Let's do a poll. I kind of like the bet, but app is more like standard. People like the bet. It's tied. You guys suck. Oh no, come on. Oh my gosh. What should we do? I can't decide. Should we ask ChatGPT? What is better? Polyworld.app, polyworld.com, or polyponzi.com? There's already a crypto related thing called Polyworld tied to DeFi privacy transactions. It's not a huge deal, but it exists. What the heck? Why is there always a name for everything? Oh my gosh. Who chose that for a DeFi privacy transaction crypto? Like, why? Potential trust issues, whatever. Pros, so clean breakdown, sounds like a product platform. Polyworld.app. Feels modern, startup-y, signals as a tool or dashboard, more likely to be available. Oh, we don't have polyworld.com. Sorry. Uh, Ponzi scheme, Poly Ponzi. Let me stop you here. Big cons kills credibility. We'll say polyworld.com is not avail. What do you think of poly.bet or .app? The app fits your project. You're building an app, data app, backed reality. I would not do this. Okay, polyworld.app wins the poll. Oh, polyworld.pp. What the hell? All right. Checking out. Boom. Boom. We bought it. We bought it. All right, there we go. You bought polyworld.app. Did you see my credit card, Tim? Or just that transaction from? Did you see my credit card information on stream here? What? Are you trolling me, Tim? I don't think I did. Damn. Don't troll me here. I thought I hit it. Oh, he's trolling me. Okay, good. Because I did use a MasterCard for it. That's what I'm saying. I was like, bro, how'd you know that? Okay. Muhammad's in it. Let me make sure I didn't. I'm curious. I should not have. Nothing should have came up on stream. Trying to make sure Tim's trolling me. All right, there we go. You bought polyworld.app. No, nothing popped up. Tim's trolling me. Tim, stop trolling me, bro. You're freaking me out. Okay. We could set up an email on it too. Yeah, doesn't Cloudflare have that where you can set up emails for the things, the domains? Okay. Let's exit out of that. Okay, cool. All right, so that's nice. We have that set up. What else do we want to set up here? Yeah, I think that'll be it for right now. I think I'm gonna take a break, get some lunch, and then might come back later tonight. My girlfriend comes back tonight, so we're gonna watch some shows. But after she probably passes out, she'll be pretty tired being away on doing work all weekend at a dance competition. So I will probably be back later tonight to continue on. We successfully are getting ready to launch our project, Polywhirl. We have user login, user registration abilities. We have a running script for generating the data. We have appearances being computed. We have individual selections for even deeper dives on data statistics. We have lots. So yeah, it feels good. I think that this is too big in my leaderboard page. So we'll just make it 3XL. And I think my nav bar, the polywhirl here, this needs to go up. 4, 3. Here we go. There we go. That looks better. Okay. All right. Nice. Anybody have any suggestions for things that they would like to see on the app, or I'm all ears. I'm also honestly considering like I would be up to working with someone. Like if anybody is interested in like seriously interested in like wanting to maybe join forces in working together. I am down for that. It's got to be someone that's like really serious, someone that knows kind of what they're doing, at least along the similar lines of me. Um, I'm not expecting anyone to know more than me, but kind of up to speed what I know, and is at least wanting to make a serious project potentially and actually see it through and whatnot. Because definitely I think that this is something that could go on a resume for sure. which would be kind of cool. I'm interested in that, but maybe we'll kind of wait off on that until we get it kind of launched, and then if we get some potentially users, maybe we get like 50 or 100 people to sign up or something, then maybe we reach out to another person to come and help out and join on, and see if what we can do from there and get out a working product for maybe try to convert over a couple of those people to paid users, and then yeah, little by little. All right, you guys, thanks so much for being here. I'll see you guys a little bit later. We'll continue on with the project. Seems like a lot of people really like us building live. I'm going to try to record some Python crash course videos for you guys to continue, so you guys like that. Some people are asking for more of those videos to come out. Um, but yeah, thanks so much for being here, and I'll see you guys a little bit. Peace out.